Good morning. My name is Barbie and I'm with Jeannie's Designs. And today I am going to be doing a necessary clutch wallet. I mean, these wallets have been around forever, but I just love them. They're good sellers and they're great wallets, really. But this is the pattern, Necessary Clutch Wallet by Emmeline Bags. She's out of Canada, but it's a purchase that you would just download the PDF pattern. And it comes with all the pattern pieces with a few options. So I've made multiple of these, and before I get started, I'll go grab some and show you what they look like. I'm doing a little bit of a hack to it today. And I'll credit the person that I found the hack as well. I am using this vinyl for the outside. It's called Rain from Into Love Creations. Kaya collection. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And then I'm using this for it's a waterproof canvas. It's a lightweight waterproof canvas. So I'm using that for the lining. And this is from Fabric Therapy. So that's the inside and outside pieces of the main wallet. And this is the flap. Again, I'm using one piece that's the Rain and one piece that is the waterproof canvas. For the waterproof canvas, I did put a piece of Decaville Light on it. It is a fairly lightweight, so I wanted to have something that was a little sturdier. And I did cut out a piece of Peltex as well, that once I get the flap done, I may insert in there, depending on how it feels. I probably will, just because it already feels like it's not going to be sturdy enough. So I probably will do that. And then you have, you need a zipper. And she gives you the measurements for that. One zipper pull for whatever you're using. And then the hack that I'm doing is, I think I've done it for a while and I think it works really good. So it is, let's see, 8 by 8.5 pieces. That's the backing of your card slot. So this is a card slot hack. So 2 of those, one 8 by 8 piece, 8 inch by 8 inch, one 7 by 8 inch, and one 6 by 8 inch. So on all of those, I have, on my card slots, I have put some 809 on the back. Just because this is really a very lightweight canvas, and I just wanted them to be a little more sturdy. So I have already done that. I do have a magnetic snap, my rivet magnetic snap that I'm going to be using. So it's a rivet from Cam Snaps. Oops, losing my stuff. And then obviously a name tag, which I'll put on, and then some rivets to close the sides. So some people can sew down the sides. Even with my industrial machine, I never can make it look good enough. So I just use the rivets. I think they look really good. So that's really all you need. I may get a piece of Decaville Light for my main piece and put it out of the seam allowance. I haven't quite decided that yet. I might, because both of these are actually pretty lightweight fabric, so I might do that. I'll have to wait and see. Or I might just put a piece of Peltex in the middle. But grab the pattern. If you haven't done it yet, grab the pattern from emmelinebags.com. It's a great wallet. It has, I think it's 12 card slots, a zipper pocket, which it has an option for 2 zipper pockets, and then I think it's 2 slip pockets as well. Lots of room to put everything you need for a wallet. All right, let's get started. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click subscribe, like, and feel free to comment. All right, so I'm going to just start with my flap. So I have a piece of vinyl, lightweight vinyl, a piece of waterproof canvas, and then on the waterproof canvas, I have attached a piece of Decaville Light. And I left it inside the seam allowances. If you're doing this on a domestic machine, you might want to leave your interfacing outside of the seam allowance. And I've done this bag 100 times. And I'm just looking to make sure. Yeah. I know the seam allowance. Isn't that just awful? Okay. So we are going to leave the flap open, or the top of the flap open, and just go slow around your curves so that we can turn it right side out. And you can get templates for this pattern from the template shop, I think is the name of it. I'm just going to clip my curves just a little here. If you plan on making a lot of these, you know, some of you out there have probably already made many of these, but it's a very popular pattern. It was when it first came out, and I think it still is. Okay, let's get it all pushed out so it looks pretty. And then, oops, I felt that that clip pop. That's funny. All right, I'm going to grab my piece of Peltex here. I think I'm going to have to trim it down just a little. Yep. Let's see. You want to put this in before you top stitch so that it ends up being caught in the top stitching. I think that might work. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good, except I'm going to cut off a good 3/8 of an inch here because I don't want that in the top when I sew this to the bag. I don't want that bulk in there. Perfect. Oh yeah, that gives that flap a lot more stability there. All right, so I think I'm going to make this leopard print my outside of my flap, since the outside of the main bag is going to be the rain vinyl. This will look really pretty, I think. All right, so let's just top stitch that. Add an 1/8, then just go slow. I am using Tex 45 thread from Size Swag Bags. Both of these fabrics sew beautifully. These both would be easy to use on a domestic machine as well. Now I am going to go ahead and sew the top of my flap closed because I am using a rivet magnetic snap. But if you're using the one magnetic snaps with the prongs, then I would wait and put your magnetic snap in and then close off the top. clean my needle there, I guess. Okay. Beautiful. So there's the front of my flap and there's the back of it. Very, very nice. So I will insert my magnetic snap here in a minute. The next thing I'm going to do is the credit card slots. Let me find them. Here they are. So you have two 8 by 8.5 inch pieces. One of those along the 8-inch side, you're going to want to center and mark a center mark along the 8-inch side. The other one, you don't need to do that. It's no harm if you do. The next thing that we're going to do is on each of these, there's 8 by 8, a 7 by 8, and a 6 by 8. Mark on the 8-inch sides, on each of the 8-inch sides, mark an inch down. Put a piece of double-sided tape, and then we're going to fold this down just like this on each side. My double-sided tape isn't sticking, which is absolutely fine. I'm not really sure why it won't stick. I'm sure it's the material, but do that on each side, and then we're going to top stitch a 1/4 of an inch on each of those sides. So this is my 6 by 8 piece that I did it. This is my 7 by 8 piece. And then also, once you get those sewn, fold them longwise and mark the center. So I've done those on those two. I haven't sewn them yet, but so I'm now going to do these. My 809 isn't sticking very well. It'll stick once I sew it down, but it's not sticking at all. And I didn't want to overdo it on my ironing of this waterproof canvas, so that's probably why. That's okay. So on the 8-inch side, I'm just using that double-sided tape and folding that down, so it ends up being folded down about 1/2 inch. And I'm going to credit the person that I found this from. They're very ingenious. All right, and now I'm just going to sew along that. And you don't have to use double-sided tape if you don't want to. Just hold it in place. This ends up being the top stitching for the card slots. So just keep that in mind. It is going to look pretty. All right, so do that on your 8 by 8 piece, your 7 by 8 piece, and your 6 by 8 piece. Top stitch on both sides. Okay, so you saw me do the sewing 1/8 of an inch, and then I started marking the 2 inches down on each side on the back. It has to be done on the front. So I don't know what I was thinking. I already lost that one. Either it didn't mark or it's going away that fast. So grab your one of your 8 by 8.5s, and then your 8 by 8 piece, and where you marked the center, I didn't mark my center on this one. Clip your centers, either mark them or clip them, whichever you prefer. I think I'm going to have a scissor sharpening session. Okay, so there's my centers, and my centers on my larger piece, my 8 by 8, and we're just going to center those up on both sides, and then we are going to sew top stitch along those lines that we made. You don't see those in the end, but I still would use like a dry erasing pen. And you have to do this one at a time, so you can't do them all at the same time. So let's just top stitch that. And I'm just, instead of cutting my threads, just for the, I just pull them. I mean, you know, it's kind of funny I say that. And then you have to cut your threads at some point. So just do it when it's most convenient for you. Okay, so that one's on there. And then you take your next larger one, center that one up on both sides. Okay, and then again, sew down those lines. And then take your smallest one and center those up. And I'd say for the most part, you get very accurate card slots. So you can see what I've got so far. I mean, it's like almost perfect. I forget. I'll look the gal's name up. I'll be definitely linking her video, but I can't remember her name off the top of my head. All right. So there you have your card slots. And we'll do the same thing. You know, from here, we'll do the same thing. We'll divide them in half. Add that second piece here. And sew along the top. I think I'm going to divide these first, though. Yeah, I'm going to do that first. And then you saw me also put in my magnetic snap. So this is going to be the front. This is going to be the back of the snap. So I put that in, but I'm going to go press that, and I'll get everything else ready, and we'll be right back. All right, so you can do this either way. You can do it after you add the back piece. I personally like to do it before. That way I don't have that stitching on the back of the backing piece. So I just measured down, and since this is an 8-inch piece, it's obviously 4 inches. So I'm going to sew down that, and I'll be back stitching over those card slots. A couple times there, as you saw. So now I am going to add the back piece. And you'll be able to tell how it goes. And then I'm just going to sew along the top and the bottom. And then we will turn this right side out and do some top stitching. So you're sewing along the top and the bottom, which ends up being the 8-inch sides. Now, if you're using cotton quilting, and even if you're using waterproof canvas, all right, let's turn those right side out. You can go to your iron and press this, and I may go over there and give it a quick press. So fold it along that seam that you just sewed on both ends. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to have to mess with that. And then we'll do a top stitch. I'm going to put a little piece of tape there. I must have had a little snip there. I don't know if you can see it. It's annoying. All right, so either go take it to the machine and press it and then top stitch along this end and this end. And then I like to baste the sides closed just so these aren't flopping around and they stay where I want them to. So go ahead and do that. Okay, so I finished my card slots. I top stitched those on all 4 sides. You obviously won't see these sides. And then I had that little snip over here. And just a thing to keep in the back of your mind. Sometimes when you have something like that, you can all I did was put a little 1/4-inch piece of double-sided tape under there. I pressed it down real good, and you can't even tell. Now, most of this is going to be in the seam, so it wouldn't have been noticeable anyway. But it might have gotten worse, so I didn't want to mess with that. So, just cleaning up some of my little hairs here. All right, now we're ready to do our zipper pocket. She gives you the length of your zipper in the pattern, and then I just add, these are I think these are 1.5 by 1.5 pieces. And I'm just gonna do 1, so it's right sides together with my zipper. And I think she has you do, let's see. Yeah. She gives you the measurement in the pattern. But I'm just using 1 piece. You don't see the underside at all. So I just don't feel like there's need to, and it adds bulk to that area. So I have not typically used 2 pieces. Okay, so there you have it, and then I'm going to fold it over just like that, And I will sew top stitch, but then I'm going to cut off the excess that's in the back. So you can see there's excess back there. So I'm going to just do 1/8 of an inch, and I'll cut the excess in the back and if there's any on any of the side. I gotta get all my tools out of the way. Okay, and then I'll just there's a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side, and then I'll just cut that excess off here. So that's what you should have. That end and then that on the back. And if you're using waterproof canvas, that's actually a really good way to do it. All right, I'm just going to do the other side. I'm using number 5 zipper tape. And the zipper pull I'm using is very noisy. So sorry about that. All right, so there you have it. Cute, cute. And my zipper is going opening to the right, closing to the left. All right, oops. All right, so now we are ready to grab our lining pieces. So I have 2 of these. One I did interface, and the others I did not. I think one being interfaced is probably more than enough for this, since it's going to be 2 pieces. I'm just going to clean up my interfacing a little bit here. On that one piece. Okay. All right, now we have our zippers right side up. Our lining to the pocket is right side up, and I'm going to mark my centers on both my zipper and my lining piece. So on my zipper, you don't have to do this. You certainly could just eyeball it if you chose to, which I do a good part of the time. All right, so right side up on your pocket lining, and your zipper is right side up as well. And you should have about the equal amounts on both sides of your zipper. Now, a couple things. You could baste this in place, or you could use a piece of double-sided tape. I am going to baste this in place, and then we're going to add the outer pocket sandwiched. So that all will be right sides together. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'll fast forward that. Okay, so that's what you should have so far. And now I got some little snips there. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side of the zipper. So here's our other lining piece. We are going to put that right sides together. Goodness, I've got all kinds of little things to snip off. So right side, so our zipper pocket lining is right sides together. Either put a piece of double-sided tape or baste that in place, whatever you choose to do. I'm going to baste it in place. And then I will add the other larger piece, which actually is creating your slip pocket. So there you have that. And then we're going to lay this, find your, I'm going to center that up. And then sew that at the seam allowance in the pattern. And then we'll do the same thing. Okay, so flip those back over and do, again, if you're using cotton quilting, you could iron this. I could iron this, but this waterproof canvas finger presses really well, actually. Okay. So I'm just going to top stitch that. And you notice a lot of times when I top stitch on this side because my zipper foot lets me get nice and close without having to move my zipper pull. Little convenience. Okay, so there you have your zipper and your zipper pocket on that side. So now, there are, I particularly do this one way. She does it another way. She does it like this, which you can do. I don't like it as well, but because that's what's in the pattern, we'll go ahead and do it that way. I'll show you the other, I guess I should show you the other way I do it. And just line those up, and then we're going to sew on the bottom here. So this is the zipper pocket. We're going to start here, up. Let me lay it down so you can see. We're going to start on the zipper pocket and go up, over, and down. We're going to leave the actual pocket open. So the other way you can do it, honestly, which you'll find what works for you. I prefer it, but because this is how it is in the pattern, I'm doing it this way for you guys, is I just fold this down. This pocket gets closed when you put the whole thing together. So you don't really need to do it this way, but you can, and it works out perfectly. So we're going to do it that way because that's how the pattern shows it. Okay. So the other thing, just keep in mind, the reason we leave all that space on the side of our zipper ends is so that when we go over these ends, it's not nearly as thick. So I'm going to go ahead and just clip my corners a little bit. And then we'll turn this right side out. This fabric is very crunchy. It's gorgeous though. Great to sew in. And then put your zipper pocket inside and pull out your zipper ends there, just like that. All right, so there you have it. Now we're just going to top stitch along this bottom edge because that becomes one of the slip pockets. All right, so now you have your zipper pocket. There is the inside lining, and once we attach this to the wallet, it closes up. We close it with a line of stitching. But you can fold it up if you like. And I clip it because it's going to end up like this when we attach it to the outside. There we go. So there you have it. All right, I'll get the next step ready and we'll continue. All right, so we have our zipper pocket and our slip pocket finished, and our card slots are finished. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my flap. This is the outside, this is the inside, to my outside piece. And I have my centers marked. So I'm going to just attach that with a little basting stitch. And then I will add my other part of my magnetic snap. If you haven't shopped at NCW Creations, I mean, this Kaya collection, I don't know if she has any in stock right now, but they reorder it regularly. It's gorgeous. Just simply gorgeous. Okay. All right, so now I am going to grab this is, just an FYI, this is the template that I have for the NCW. And I think I got this at the template shop. I'm pretty sure. But this is how I do my magnetic snap. Get this on here back again. And I'm just going to mark it on the wrong side. Right there. And then I use my ruler to mark the center of that. Okay. So I'm going to just see if that looks good. I think it does. So because there's nothing on here, and I don't intend on putting anything there, I was going to put some Decaville Light, but I don't think it needs it. I'm just going to put a little piece of Decaville Heavy. I might actually use 2 pieces. Let's see how it feels. This snap gets a lot of use. I'm going to get 2 ready and just see. Oh, I have to have that here. Okay. I think I am going to need 2. This is not thick or vinyl by any stretch. So I'm going to use 2, because these are, I think these are 10 millimeter magnetic rivets. So I'm going to use 2. All right. So that's what you should have. So both sides of your magnetic snap are face up. Front side of my flap, I'm going to run over real quick and press that, and I'll be right back. All right, I did my magnetic snap here, and I just test it by doing this, just to make sure things look pretty even, and they do. Okay. So now what we want to do is put our front and our linings together. Matching all those centers on all 4 sides. So you should have marked centers on all 4 sides of both of these pieces. Now the other little trick that I don't know if she has it in her new pattern. I've had her pattern for so long now, I'm not sure. But a way to easily turn this right side out is to cut about a 6-inch slit right in the center of your lining. So you can see I did that. So that's just right down the middle. It will never be seen once you put all this together. And it just really makes, number one, it makes turning it easy, but it also keeps from having to do any little final top stitching. So I'm going to sew around that, and then we'll turn it right side out. And I typically start over at one of these, the end of one of the curves. Doesn't really matter for this, because you are going to top stitch this once we get it turned right side out. Man, I haven't made one of these in a long time. And that's just my flap. I'm double going over my flap. Oh, I lost the bobbin more. It's okay. I have one all ready to go. Okay, it's a good thing I wasn't top stitching. I would have been really unhappy with myself. So, check your bobbin before you do any top stitching if you think you're low. Okay. Okay. So there you have it. I might trim. I'm not going to trim my seam allowance there. All right, so I'll just turn it right side out. Depending on your fabric, you could clip those curves. If you have something that's really stiff, neither of these fabrics are stiff in any way. So I didn't think I needed to. I may regret it. Let's see. See how easy that is to turn that? And then just push all your curves out. And then we'll top stitch it. Beautiful. So it's going to end up going like this, and like this, and like this. So it'll end up like that. Isn't that pretty? This might be my new wallet. All right, so clip that all the way around, and if you have materials that you can press, I would probably go do that just so you have good, nice curves. And then top stitch that at an 1/8 or a 1/4 inch, whatever is good for you. I do it at an 1/8. Actually, I do it between an 1/8 and a 1/4, somewhere in between. So clip that really good all the way along, and then we'll top stitch. All right, so our outer piece is finished. We got that hole in there that is going to be completely covered. You know what I did not do, and I'm going to do it right now, is add my tag. I'll end up sewing on both sides of this, but that's absolutely fine. So here's how it's going to look. So I think I'm going to add my tag right there. Below this, I'm going to add my tag right below the snap. Or, nope, I don't want to do that because then the top stitching will be seen. So if you're going to add your tag, add it before, if you're going to add it to the flat, add it before you sew those together. And if you're going to add it to this, it's okay, but I would probably normally add it before I sewed those two pieces together and turn them out. That's okay. This is fine. This is absolutely fine. I am going to pull it to the back, to the lining piece. I don't know what happened to my, oh, there's my stiletto. I was like, where did it go? Okay. I cleaned up and I put everything away in its rightful place. Okay, like I've said many times, hold your threads. That way you know which one needs to be pulled to the back. Just a simple little thing. I'm telling you, at least for me, it makes all the difference. I'm going to do one more. Okay. And this is going to be covered up, so you're not going to really see it. All right. Goodness gracious. Perfect. All right, so now we can put our credit card slots on. So that's what they look like. I'm actually going to just do a slight trimming, if you see that. Don't really need it on that side. Okay, good. All right, so now these go, and it doesn't matter which is up and which is down, but center it on your flap and the bottom. Man, that is just about dang perfect. And now we are going to pull our flaps over and clip those in place. So you're going to go like this. And you want to have those pretty snug, but don't over pull it. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. You don't want it bunching up in there, but you want it to be nice and snug. Okay, so that's what you should have. Now, I always do this as well. I fold it up and test it with my flap. Beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my goodness. All right, and now we're gonna sew down each side at a 1/4 inch seam allowance and hold it as you go, because we're trying to catch that card slot in this seam. No, I didn't change my stitch length. That's absolutely okay. Oh my goodness, that looks good. It's a 2.5. When I put my tag on it, I changed it to 2.5, so this is 2.5. That's okay. Not a big deal. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you caught the side of your credit card slot and there's no raw edges there, and there isn't, which is a beautiful thing. All right, so now let's do this side. This gets pretty thick in here, so just be aware of that when you make, if you're on a domestic machine, when you choose your fabrics. This is probably the thickest part up here and at the other end. Okay, let's see what we got. It's so weird to see that short stitch length. Just looking for any stray hairs. Okay. So now those are both stitched. And there's your wallet. Beautiful. Okay, now we're getting there. The next thing we want to do is we want to insert our zipper pocket and our slip pocket. So it really depends on which way you want this to go. I like my zipper pocket on the bottom. So I had it pinned the other way, so I'm just going to turn it around. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Oops, I didn't catch that, did I? There we go. So I like my zipper pull closing to the left, and I like my slip pocket on top. So we want to put that right in here. So I am going to put, I can find my double-sided tape, a piece of double-sided tape right on where it creases on the bottom of my zipper pocket and my slip pocket, so that when I go to put that in the wallet, it stays put until I get it sewn down. I think she talks about doing this in the pattern. I don't think this is a hack. All right, let's get this stuff out of the way. All right, so there's our piece of tape right on the bottom where we have it folded. So, and here you can see right between our two credit card slots, I'm going to place the zipper pocket and slip pocket right in the center of that. With that piece of tape. Then I'm going to unclip it. And there you have, that's where it is. So, when the wallet's together, this will obviously be up. And there's your zipper pocket, and your slip pocket will end up being right there. So now, check your bobbin, because we're going to do some top stitching. Let me grab my little ruler. And you want to find the center of this on each end. It's about mine is about 7 inches. So I'm going to just mark a center of 3.5. And then I'm going to mark at the 3 and the 4. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. And then I'll draw a line. And I'm going to start a 1/2 inch from the end. And stop a 1/2 inch from the end. And then that is where I am going to stitch. And you want to be pretty precise on this because it's going to be seen on the outside. Now there are other hacks that you can find on the internet that don't show any seam on the outside. You don't see it because it's on the bottom of the wallet. All right, check your bobbin. And I'm going to start, let me get my, let's change my stitch length. All right, here we go. So you're really just creating a 1-inch box. This secures your zipper and slip pocket, and it also closes your zipper pocket bottom. Okay. Let's see what we got. Oh my, that looks good. So it's up to you if you use a contrasting thread. I did not. I used a blue, so it would all match. So there you have it. Now this is attached. Oops, that's upside down. So this is attached and your slip pocket is attached. It's beautiful. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to mark our sides to pull these up just like this on both sides. there's a good measurement in the pattern, and then to pull this up and rivet those, and then we'll be done. Okay, let me get my stuff together. All right. So what I've done is, she gives you these measurements in the pattern, and these measurements are also on your template if you got one. So it's up to you. I just, most of the time, I'll just be honest, I eyeball them. But then all I do is I grab my side and keep it on that and flip it. Same thing over here and clip it. Catch the bottom. Let me find a, yeah, there we go. And you can tweak this if you don't like how it looks, like it's too narrow in a spot or it's too thick in a spot. Adjust it for yourself. Like, I don't think I like how this, I don't think I like this. Let's see. It's even, it just doesn't feel like it. Oh, that didn't stay there, did it? I'll tell you what I'm gonna have to do here. Here we go. So then fold it up. Before you finish it, fold it up and snap it and see if it's, my snap didn't snap or not. There we go. See if it is how you want it. Kind of squish it on both sides. I don't know, that looks pretty good. All right. Now, all I need to do is I put a rivet about, 3/4 of an inch down, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch down, and then one down, probably an inch from that. It depends on how thick my fabrics are. I'm using 10mm rivets, so I shouldn't really have a problem with that. Let me grab my rivets. And just do one side at a time. The key is just to make sure you're catching the outside and the inside. Okay. So I'm going to pull that up there, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm catching that about an inch down. Actually, that's not an inch down. It's about a 1/2 inch down. Really, the purpose is just making sure that your sides aren't going to come loose. So there you go. I'm not sure you can see that. There's 2 rivets there. I am going to just keep that in place, and then I'm going to do this side. The zipper pocket is a little thicker. And it's probably because I used 809 on all my pieces. I probably shouldn't have, but I like the stiffness of it, so I'm okay with it. Okay, perfect. All right, let's do this top one. Crunch. Those hole presses are strong. Okay, so there you have it. That's one side. I'll have to press those. But then go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side, and then you're done. So I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Okay, so there you have it. Like I said, I use 10mm rivets, and you really need it depending on your materials. If you have all cotton, then you may not. But the 10mm rivets really help when you have vinyl and waterproof canvas. So there you have it. There is the wallet. Gorgeous. 6 credit card slots, a slip pocket, a pretty good slip pocket, another area. A lot of people put their cell phones right there. Then you have a zipper pocket that's closed now, another slip pocket, 6 credit card slots. Let me just test those. I always do that. I tested them when I was off camera, but perfect. And then another pretty good sized slip pocket. And that is your necessary clutch wallet. I will say some people, to get these to lay down nicely, will put a heavy book on them overnight. I have done that, and it does help. The other thing I've done is grab some of my large clips. You have to be careful with these. You don't want to leave a mark. So some of these large green clips, and just clip it where it's supposed to be. I wouldn't leave these on a really long time because it could leave a little mark. Although this is waterproof canvas, so I could steam iron that out if I needed to. But there you have it. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. You can see the sides and the back. Another great place for your logo is right here on the back. Not as obvious as putting it here. So there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. I'm having a great time doing these YouTube videos, so I hope you're enjoying them. Be sure to click subscribe, like, and feel free to comment. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.